So while we're waiting for the powers that be to figure out what I'm doing, where I'm going, and who's gonna fix my vehicle, something I did want to point out. This is a coil pack, and there's one. It's the 8-cylinder I have, so there's 8 of these, and I bought these a month or 2 ago to swap things out. This is it's a 2005, so it's a few years old. So I do budget money to maintenance and replacing things as I go. So I got these coil packs, and I haven't gotten around to putting them in yet. But the kicker is that even if I do end up having this engine replaced, these all have to be taken off, and then the new engine, they have to be all the accessories, everything has to be taken off of the old engine and put onto the new engine. And even though I have a full set of these, the fact that I didn't buy them from wherever I'm going, they don't want to install them, they don't want to insure them, they don't want anything to do with them. So I am going to install some of these parts, and while I'm waiting, I'm going to install parts and do things on my own. So once I get all these things installed, then when it goes into the shop, if we do get a new engine, these parts are already on the engine, so they have to put them back on. But they won't take them new from the brand new box and put them back on. They'll take the old ones off and put the old ones back on and won't touch these. So while I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, I'm going to just do some things myself. In the vehicle, on top of the engine, and this is right here. It's basically that goes right there, and there's one for each cylinder, 4 on each side, and just a plug in on the top, plug in on the bottom, and then 2 bolts that hold that in. So we're gonna go ahead and get all those swapped out while we're here goofing off. I've got 2 of these done, and I'm going as I can get to them. I'm pulling the spark plugs, and if we can shed some light on this spark plug here. Let me get it to focus. This spark plug, you see it's cracked and it's fried. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that, but that's a problem all in of itself. Oh, good times. I picked up a set of 4. Have to see what the rest of them look like, but we'll start with 4. If I've got to get another box of 4, then we'll get that. But that's kind of a brand new one versus whatever this melted down one is. Just gotta wonder if the plug failed or if it's because there's something internal failing. We'll see, but yeah, we'll change them out. It gives me something to do, keeps me busy. While working on this, you can't really see it, but somewhere way down there, there's a transmission line I noticed is leaking. And see if I can get my hand down into that. You can't really make it out from there. So if we come in from under the wheel well, one of those lines there, I think it's this middle one right here. You can't really see super well, but the one that's shiny and wet, that's leaking a little bit of transmission fluid. So I went ahead and bought the part. That's $33 at the parts store, and go ahead and swap that out myself while I'm doing nothing. Also opened up the air filter. Someone been trying to make a nest in here or something? What's up with that? It may be about time for a new one of these guys. So it started sprinkling earlier, so I didn't get that transmission line done. I didn't want to be laying in puddles of water if it started raining for real. But I drove around a little bit, and it's telling me that I've got a misfire. Check engine light flashing on me, but I was looking at this guy here. Ooh, that's hot. And that's basically the other end of that, but let's see if we can burn my fingers real quick. I can't get it. There we go. That is actually the inner part of that plug wire, and the wire is supposed to be crimped into that end. So maybe that was causing the misfire on that one. So there's another $80. Let's see what that does. It's only little pieces of paper, right? Right? So they've got these little guys here, just little wire wraps you can put in the middle. And then on this particular model, wherever it went. A little metal piece with a spring you keep, and then you just shove the new one into there, because that gives you that heat shield from the exhaust manifold there. So we'll go ahead and try to get to all 8 of these things all the way around. More fun. Coming around to the driver's side, see that? That means it just got real. That's all 8 of them. I'm going to keep a few of these in my toolbox just because I know it's just the one bad. You know, just in case, I'll hang on to a couple of them. So going back to that transmission line, see right there, that little clip right there has to come out, and then it goes into the belly of the beast. And then it runs down there and all that nastiness somewhere. And then we have to crawl back under here. And I can't see it, but somewhere up here, probably this top line, right here, I think there's another one below it or something somewhere else. There's a heat shield thing in the way, so I can't see it. But that's got to get unhooked there the same way. It should just be a clip. I've got to undo this clip here. There's one goes in and one goes out to the transmission cooler. And then there's a clip here. And then it looks like there's another clip. So you go way, I can't even get to it. Things are grabbing me. Way under here. That looks like another clip right there. So we're going to undo all these clips. Take out that heat shield right there so that I can visually see it. And hope it doesn't rain and everything works. Be a nice change. This is that transmission line that I've got to get from the top of the radiator here, and I've got to wiggle it all the way down somewhere under there in between everything to get it to go somewhere close to where those tools are. I'm sure this is going to be an absolute pleasure and the highlight of my day. Here's a little reminder of what fresh transmission fluid looks like. Should be able to see that bright red. Bright red. Now I'm going to pour it without spilling it. This is what we took out. I don't have to remind you guys that we just did this twice about 3,000 miles ago. But yeah, good times. Little dirt and stuff like that is off the bottom of the pan. The stuff that came out of the pan was actually looked pretty clean. Been hearing some belt squealing, so while we're here, this is the tensioner for the AC compressor belt, and that's just 2 bolts that hold that, and then this square is where you put the socket in to release the tension on the belt. So we're going to get up under here somewhere, see if we can find it and change this out. That's this guy right here, bolt, and there's our tensioner. Pretty nasty and yucky under here, but belt itself looks okay, but we're going to get that replaced. There's something squealing a little bit, even without activating the air for the AC. But I've also got way over here, that nasty looking thing is the power steering pump. I was going to replace that a few months ago and declined to, but I've got the parts. It's just a matter of time. We're going to get under here again and do that as well, but not today because that's going to be yucky and messy and fluid's going to go everywhere. You know, the hardest part of this whole job is right there, dropping a socket on my face while I'm working on the van, while I'm laying underneath it, just to get sympathy from you guys. So go ahead and feel bad for me. There's the old, there's the new. And this right here, I believe that bearing in there is the culprit. I believe. But it rolls a little smoother than this yucky one does. I mean, it rolls more, but you can feel more play and stuff in it. But that red grease, if you can see it, that's just some wheel bearing grease I crammed up in there just to try to see if it'll make a difference a little while ago. But so one more part, and and slowly rebuilding the entire vehicle as I drive. There's our shiny new piece. Whether it'll make a difference, nobody knows. But it's one more new part for me to be happy about. Hard to see through this bag, but this is the power steering pump. And that'll have a pulley mounted right here on the front. And nobody in town has a loaner tool to pull that pulley. And I've also picked up, this is the last belt tensioner, idle pulley thing. And so still looking for the pulley puller. Can't do anything with that till then. Don't want to buy one for a one-time use, but that's kind of what it looks like, just the circle piece. It doesn't have the reservoir up there, but yeah, that, and that's where I smushed my poor little thumb the other day. Doesn't hurt, but it'll take a while to work itself out. Good times. So I guess the question is, do I do this and come back to that, or keep trying to find a puller somewhere? Only one more part store in town. Decisions, decisions, decisions. On this model, take a screw out here, and that just goes in with tabs, but it still has hoses and stuff you have to work around. But we can pick it up, flip it out of the way, and then right there in dead center under that hose is our tensioner, and we've got to loosen that to get the serpentine belt off. And then if you look that way, the one that the belt is going under, swing around to the other side, somewhere down under there, it's hiding. Squeeze in. That guy right there under the alternator, that's the one we're going to try to get rid of. Remove the bolt and whatnot, and this bearing here, I mean, that is butter smooth. So this probably has absolutely nothing wrong with it, and is good for many more miles. But we've already bought the new one, and we've taken the old one off, so we're going to change it anyways. $30. It's only little pieces of paper, right? Right. Down to the power steering pump while the belt is loose. I can grab it. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of play in that pulley. But I've looked at the new one, and there's a little bit of play in the new one as well. But spinning it, I don't hear any sounds. I don't hear any sounds or feel anything in the power steering pump itself. So I'm not sure if I'm just spending money just to make myself feel good, or if that's even a problem. But it could be the AC compressor that runs on a separate belt, but it's off the same pulley. I did change the tensioner on that, but I may take the belt off of that. That's a separate belt, and drive it around a little bit just to see if the sound stops when I do that. Then it may be the compressor or the clutch on the compressor going. And if that's the issue, I'd just as soon replace that instead of replacing a perfectly good power steering pump. So I don't know. This is a new belt. You can see from the packaging it's been around for a while, but it's one of the items that I carry is a new belt. I do see a little wear and tear on the one that's in there, so I think well, I've got everything loose. I'm just going to throw this one on, and then I'll keep the old one that's on there as a spare and put the new one in, see if that makes any difference. This is the wear. I was able to see this line right in here. I was able to see that, but it's so dark in there. But after taking it off, I can also flip it over, and you see all the cracking in the ribs. This belt is definitely due to get changed, so I'm just going to change this belt and run it for a little while, and then we'll regroup and see. This may be the culprit after all. Yeah, the easy part. But yeah, like I said, I carry a spare belts with me. It's just something I carry with my automotive supplies on the road. So we'll swap that out, see what she does. Taking a closer look at the old and the new, it's a good thing I'm parked right behind a parts store. But yeah, this was I've been carrying this for over a year and a half in the van, and looking at those the V-grooves and ribs, it looks like they sold me the wrong darn belt. Like I've been carrying the wrong belt for a year and a half. Gotta love parts store, people. So I just got out of AutoZone, and that's the old one. There's the new one they sold me. It still has those low rib deals where it's not V, but then this here says multi-V, so maybe the belt I already have is okay, and then I just bought another $30 one for giggles. I really don't know. I'm confused now. The belt worked out fine, and just a new design. So let's just watch a train for a while.